young girls are wearing Milkmaid dresses to the club nowadays.
I'm acting brand new. I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but try to play it cool.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I will be talking about people wearing these milkmaid dresses to the club. I didn't know that this was even a thing. I first saw this on TikTok, so I'm going to add some clips in here where girls were like, okay, I guess people are wearing milkmaid dresses to the club. And I kind of wanted to give my opinion on it. Okay, so I included this TikTok because essentially this girl is saying that young girls are wearing milkmaid dresses because they have been bullied into submitting to misogyny. And she was basically saying that, women are moving into this conservatism. People had a lot to say, and all I can say is that I'm all for it. I think that the milkmaid dress style is so cute, so elegant, so mindful, so demure, so classy. And I don't know why anybody would see somebody wearing that in the club and think and like start hating in any way. Don't get me wrong, I definitely be like, okay, this is different because people don't normally wear those kinds of dresses to the club, but there should be no hate about it. I think that if we're gonna hype up the baddie girl, the girl with the tight dress, the girl with the leather on, and all the things that people generally wear to the club, I'm all here for showing up in a milkmaid dress. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I personally like the style. I don't know if I would wear that to the club. So, in that sense, like, it is different, but I don't think that it should matter if a girl decides to do that. I'm like, do what you want to do. And it's very, like, flattering on the body. I think it's very elegant and classy and just like a different kind of look. I think we are moving into an era where people do get tired of the same thing. Um, I think that you've seen it even with like Fashion Nova and like some of these like fast fashion brands kind of even switching it up and changing things and getting out of like the BBL fashion and like everything being so tight and so fitted. Like, I think times are changing a little bit. And if I'm not wrong, I was even looking at some of the outfits that girls were wearing to Coachella. I'm pretty sure Kendall Jenner even showed up in a milkmaid dress. So, I mean, I'm going to insert a clip because hopefully I'm not wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure I saw that she had a very like simple dress on, like it wasn't anything too crazy. And as we know, Coachella is a place where people show up and they show out. And even Kendall Jenner was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it simple this year. So I don't know what's going on, but it does seem like things are kind of changing slightly into like a little bit more of, I don't want to say like they're leaving the baddie aesthetic behind because I don't think that that's necessarily what's fully happened. But I think what you are seeing is that, in environments such as the club, such as Coachella, such as this, such as that, where people really go all out, some people are just kind of keeping it more simple. And I think that that's cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that it's a bit of a shock because these are environments where people kind of do like the most. They want to look their best. And I think when people think of looking their best, they don't necessarily envision a milkmaid dress. So I think that that's kind of what's like thrown some people off. But I am not for like hating on anyone that wants to wear that to the club and just do their own thing, only because on the flip side of that, we never hate on the girl that's showing up in like really tight clothes, a really tight skirt, a mini dress to go to the club. Like, so if we're not going to hate on that vibe, then I don't think it's fair to hate on it the other way around. When you're going anywhere, I'm like, wear what makes you feel good. Okay. Like, I'm never going to be the kind of person that's going to like get on someone for doing what they want to do. And I don't necessarily think that there's certain environments where only certain clothes should be worn. um, I think that in the club people just expect to see girls doing certain things, wearing certain things, and that's where it can just like throw people off. But I'm going to kind of insert some clips too of just like what some other people's opinions are about it online. Because I did feel like some of the videos, some of the girls were just like, why are people wearing milkmaid dresses? Kind of making it like negative, and saying like, okay, well, I'm not showing up in that kind of outfit to the club. But, pay attention. I have noticed things here and there where I do think things have been shifting. I did a video actually also on the Pretty Little Thing rebrand and how Pretty Little Thing also used to be a place that had like very bright colors, like going out clothes, just clothes that were just more what's the word? Like, it was just giving very young, very fun, And don't get me wrong, their quality wasn't the best, but they were very trendy. Okay. They kept up with all the trends. And I wouldn't really call them like a conservative brand. And as you guys know, like with this rebrand, it's just done a 360, right? Everything is like kind of more muted. There's not a whole lot of colors involved anymore. You don't see things that are as short anymore. I do feel like even some of their clothes now are a bit longer. It just doesn't, it's not the same vibe. It's not giving fun like it was before, where you would go to their website and they would have the pink pony and like all these things with color in it. It's just completely changed. So I don't think that that's come out of nowhere. And I said that even in my Pretty Little Thing video, that even this milkmaid dress topic is interesting, because I do feel like fashion is kind of changing. Um, and there's certain things that are just not as popular anymore. I know that another thing that people are talking about is how everyone's taking Ozempic, and like skinny is back in, and like BBL fashion is gone, and like women want to be stick thin like they used to be in the 90s. And when those things start to change, like, the whole idea of like what body type is in, I noticed that fashion can also change too, right? Because a lot of the BBL fashion, like, let's be so for real, like the BBL fashion idea, you never really think of people with BBLs wearing a milkmaid dress. Like, you think of like them wearing some like baddie outfit, a short skirt, showing off like their assets, and these types of clothes are not in any way usually conservative, because women that even get these things done, like they want to show it off, right? So it's very interesting. But even as like the body images are changing, and like, just how, like, I think that that also affects fashion in certain ways too. I don't think it's just coincidental, that women are kind of opting out for like all these curves, and wanting to be thinner now, so the pendulum is slightly swinging the other direction. I don't think it's completely there yet, but I think that we're seeing a change, and it's happening in like ripple effects, so yeah, when I saw this, I just thought that I had to talk about it, because I think that we're seeing little things happening here or there, and we're kind of like, ooh, this doesn't make sense. Like, I wouldn't wear this in that environment, or why are women wearing this now, But it's not just coincidental. I think that there's reasons why these things are happening. And I think that we're going to start to see even other brands start to do a rebrand, and maybe do another 360 similar to Pretty Little Thing. Um, but for me, like, my opinion on it is that I think that you should be able to wear whatever you want whenever you want. I do know that we live in a world where we're all influenced by each other. And I think, especially for women, we are terrible at policing what each other wears. That's something that I've noticed, that we always want to, like, it's like we don't really operate like in our own mind that much. I feel like we're very much conscious, like, okay, what are other girls wearing? Like, what else should I be doing? And it would be great if we could move a little bit more like, you just kind of do what you want, wear what makes you comfortable, wear what you want to wear. Don't be looking at everyone else to determine what you should do. Because I think that when it comes to clothing and fashion and everything, what makes it the best is when you have individuality to it and just do what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with following trends and doing this and doing that, but I don't think that we should like be policing what other people are wearing, because I know women hate when other women are like getting on them for wearing things that are what they call skimpy or short or revealing. Women hate that, right? So on the flip side, I don't think we should get on somebody for dressing more conservative in an environment where people don't think that that's appropriate, right? Or dressing, or just wanting to cover more things up. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, So on the flip side, that we don't want to get on the baddie girl who's like wearing the short clothes and everything's fitted, we shouldn't get on the girl that's deciding not to go with that aesthetic, right? Because that would be hypocritical. So, like, I think that's something that people should think about. And when I saw the video on the milkmaid dress and wearing it to the club, this is what came to my mind. Like, we can't ask for, a sense of grace when it comes to certain things, in terms of like women dressing more provocatively and not ever wanting anyone to comment on that. But then we see a girl wearing a milkmaid dress and we're down her throats. Like, why are you, like, that's weird to me. I think that some of the videos that were made were not necessarily bashing it. I think it was more like the shock of it. Like, oh, wait, are we really wearing milkmaid dresses to the club? Like, what's going on? So not everybody was being negative, but I do think that some people were, where they were just kind of like, what is going on? Like, women should be wearing their, like, short red skirt and like mini dress, like, type of thing, because that's like the type of environment that they think these things should be worn in. But at the end of the day, these are not rules that anyone's come up with, right? Like, you can do whatever you want. And I'm all for being comfortable and wearing what makes you comfortable, what makes your body comfortable. So I think that it's pretty cool. I think that it's different. And yeah, I think that this is not just a situation where it's just happening out of nowhere, as I said before. I think that there's other things going on in the fashion world, um, and just in like women's body image and how things are changing, where people just do generally want to be like smaller now. Um, Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians in general, have had a reign for a long time. And that's another thing I've noticed too, where they've even kind of fallen off, like they're not as relevant as they used to be. And every time I think of like, the curvy girl and like BBLs and everything, I initially think of the Kardashians because at one point they were extremely influential. Sorry, that's not a word. Influential when it came to fashion, beauty, aesthetics, like all of that. They had a huge impact and they still have an impact. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like it used to be, like they're not as impactful as they were. And I don't think that some of the beauty standards that they've set, especially when it comes to like body type, I think that they're dwindling away. Um, and women are kind of opting for that like thinner body type in general. So, yeah, these are just all things to think about. But I just wanted to give my opinion on it because this is something that I saw that people were talking about a lot on TikTok. And I did not, like, personally for me, I don't really go to the club anymore that often. But I haven't really noticed people wearing milkmaid dresses to the club. I think what stood out for me was I'm pretty sure I saw Kendall Jenner wearing that dress, milkmaid dress, to Coachella. And that surprised me because I was like, wow, that's not something that I would think of wearing because I just feel like people go all out for that kind of, thing. But sometimes people just want to put something simple on and go, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for it. I'm like, dress however you want and however makes you feel your best. So, yeah, so just let me know what your opinions are. I want to know what you guys think of this whole thing. But that's my take on it. And I like the whole milkmaid dress vibe. I think it's very cute. It reminds me of like back in the day when women would wear like corsets kind of and then had the dresses that would like poof at the bottom. It just kind of reminds me of like bringing that older style. And I think it's very flattering on the body. Like I like it a lot. So I'm also going to insert some clips as to like some of my favorite milkmaid dresses that I found online, that you guys could possibly check out if you were interested. And then please just let me know what you think of this whole topic. Just thought I would get on here and share some of my opinion. Please like and subscribe. I am primarily a fashion channel. I talk about things fashion related, and I'm also going to be continuing to post kind of like fashion finds, like where you can find things for like under $50, right? Or introducing you to new brands, all those kinds of things. So if that's anything that you're interested in, please like, comment, and subscribe at the bell. Thanks.
Why you always in the mood? I'm acting brand new. I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but try to play it cool.